Oh,
Thank you.
Uh-oh. At least he's not on the road.
No,
shit.
you're
Shoot.
getting back.
Michael, can you get somebody from the kitchen?
That's not gonna help.
You knocked my coffee over. Sorry.
You get any left?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I might want to put it on the
The
outside.
other side.
Yeah.
There. Note to self for the next 2 weeks.
Cup holder. Well, what I'll do is, just trying to think. Most of my cup
Good evening and welcome to the first of three forums for the 2020 municipal elections here in Nova Scotia. This evening we have candidates for the municipality of the District of Yarmouth. The following evening we'll have candidates for the municipality of the District of Argyll, and then Thursday evening we'll have candidates for the town of Yarmouth. These forums are brought to you by and presented by the Yarmouth Area Chamber of Commerce, and we have two sponsors that we also thank, the Rotary Club of Yarmouth and the Nova Scotia Association of Realtors. We've gone over the rules previously, as Quinn did, for the candidates here, and they're aware of the topics that are going to be discussed, that the questions they will be asked based on those topics. Quinn.
Thank you, Gary. So first off the top, we're going to let everybody do an introduction. We're going to go around the room, and we're going to start with Dolores Hatwick. Go ahead.
Hello. Hello, Walker.
No, there's no speaker, so it's okay. Just go ahead. Just talk into the microphone, though. Yep.
Good evening, everyone. And my name is Dolores Atwood. I have lived with the municipality of Yarmouth for 22, going to 23 years. I work with immigrants. I'm the Irish immigrant settlement staff here. I help to get immigrants to stay in this community and to navigate them to the system. One of the reasons why I'm running, I love this community so dearly. This community has been a great support for me when I first came. And I've been very involved in our community, and I see a lot of potentials in my community. A beautiful community that have a lot to offer for our children and for our young people. And I'm running also because I believe that we have a lot to do. We're in a standing point where I think that either we go forward or we go backward. And I know that I have a lot to offer, and I know I have what it takes to do it, and I know I have what it takes to keep this community going forward, not going backward. And for this reason, I decided to run, to keep my community and to save my community from going backwards. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jim Baxter, born and raised in the town of Yarmouth with my 3 brothers and 2 sisters. Now I'm living in the community of Port Maitland with my family. I've recently retired in the spring of 2018 from Michelin Tires in the Annapolis Valley, where I worked for over 30 years. My last 5 years, I was the training manager for the site of over 1,400 employees. I also taught in evenings for the NSCC King's Tech branch. I taught the Manufacturing Leadership Certificate Program. Today I'm semi-retired. I'm licensed by Natural Resources Canada as a home energy advisor, and this allows me time. I work a couple days a week, which allows me to contribute in a bigger way. That's why I'm running for this post. The skills that I bring to the table are that I'm an excellent communicator, I'm a team builder, and I'm also very analytical. I can cut through the noise to get to what the real problems are. I believe the people of our community knows what's best for District 4, and if elected, I will represent you.
My name is Scotty Boudreau. I'm originally from Wedgeport. I currently live in Melbourne with my wife of 23 years, Deborah, and that's where we've raised our 3 kids, Caleb, Emily, and Madison. I've been in the building supply industry for 21 years. I was co-owner of Pleasant Supplies Timber Mart for 13 of those years. I feel experience of being a business owner will help me greatly dealing with fellow council members and surrounding councils in the area. I think the reason why I put my name in to run for council, I've thought about it in the last election and this time. I feel life is short, and if I don't try this time, you know, that the opportunity might never be there. I feel I could serve the community very well, and I hope I can serve the community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joan Brewer. I've been a lifelong resident of District 6, and I'm running for the position as council seat for Municipal 6 now. I'm a physiotherapist by profession, working at the Meadows, having also worked at Yarmouth Hospital and also was a owner and operator of a private clinic for a number of years. I've also served as elected school member on the Tri-County Regional School Board for 12 years. I'm running because I've seen the needs and changes of the residents in the municipality change significantly over the last few years. I'm not sure that council has changed with the times. I'd like to see more collaboration with our unit and other municipal units, neighboring units. The division amongst the municipal units has led to stalling of progress, especially with regards to the splash park, and the lack of cooperation between the units has led to the demise of the YMCA. I feel passionate that those things are very important, and thinking forward for the community is very important. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Adam Churchill. I am running for District 6 Municipal Councillor. I was born and raised and grown up in Overton, Yarmouth County. I've been part of the family business Churchill Brothers Farm since our family farm has been around since 1920s. I currently manage our family business Ocean Breeze Feed and Farm Supplies. We were also purchased Churchill Lumber in Pleasant Valley in 2018. I am a volunteer for the past 10 years on the Mariner Center Management Authority Board, and also I've been a volunteer with minor hockey for the past 20 years. I was Yarmouth County Male Sport Volunteer of the Year in 2019. I've also been an active 4-H member for many years and still involved with the 4-H today.
Good evening, everyone. My name is John Cunningham. I'm running in District 1, and I'm the only candidate here that's acclaimed this evening. I'm currently the Municipal Council's Deputy Warden, and the reason why I'm running again is unfinished business. But before that, I'm going to go back to my beginnings. I was born, raised, and grew up in the Municipality District of Yarmouth. I grew up on a dairy farm in Chabog. My wife is from the outer edges of the Municipality District of Yarmouth, out in the Richfield area. And we also bought our first home in the Melbourne area, and also we moved to the Carlton area. We bought a business, Carlton Country Outfitters. The reason why I said I'm running as unfinished business, as you all know, that there's an internet announcement that came out in the Municipality District of Yarmouth which affects the Carlton area. I'm there to make sure that that project gets done.
My apologies. Trevor Cunningham, and I've represented District 5 in the municipality of the District of Yarmouth for the last number of years. I'm happily married to Leslie Cunningham, who's a teacher at Meadowfields Community School, and we have 3 wonderful children, 2 of whom are at university now. And unfortunately, they're both having to learn online, and that's underscored the urgency of us getting high-speed internet throughout the municipality. So that's certainly going to be a priority moving forward, and very much like Councillor Cunningham beside me, I'm running to complete some unfinished business. We've had a wonderful number of years. The last 4 years have been good, and we've really moved things along. Just some of the accomplishments. Certainly, we've been able to bring Millennium One to the community in our business park in Hebron. The Municipality District of Yarmouth renovating the building. That's a $2 million project, so that's really, really progressive, and I'd like to thank the provincial government for collaborating with us on that project. Very, very important. Recently, the Greenville Road, and from the Greenville, we've had a couple of sidewalk projects, engineering costs approved. So that is going to be engineered from the Greenville Road to the railway bid, Route 1, to the Greenville Road railway bid, and on Route 1 from the Greenville Road down to the red and white. So, and Councillor Cunningham sitting beside me always says what gets engineered gets built. So looking forward to seeing that built, in the next year or so. So that'll be fantastic. Also, we're about to employ a firm to look at the Milo stretch, and a boardwalk, possibly a bike lane. That's an active transportation corridor, as well as some jetties and piers and those types of things. The pool is a tremendously important asset The YMCA, of course, ran into some trouble, and I'm fully supportive of bringing the pool back and making sure that we transition to a Mariners Center facility as soon as possible. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Lauren Cushing. I'm the President Councilor for District 6. And as my fellow councilors have mentioned, we have accomplished a lot in the last 4 years. They've been here longer than I have, but we have been very successful in running some projects in the last 4 years, and I I tend to be able to continue on doing that, working collaboratively with our municipal partners. I was born and raised in Pembroke, son of a father. During my youth, I worked on the farm, of course, local fish plant, and was a hired hand aboard a fishing vessel. From 1976 to 1991, I owned and operated a fishing enterprise and a landscape company. From 1991 to 2008, I was employed at the municipal government, and from 2009 to 2011, I attended Nova Scotia Burgio campus and graduated with a diploma of business administration management. After graduation, I returned to the private sector, and I own and operate a project and property management business. My wife, Linda, and I have been married for 46 years. We have 3 children, Karen Ann, Amy, and Ryan. We also have proud grandparents of Michael, Anime, Hudson, Cameron, Julia, and Wesley. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Patty Durkee. It has been my privilege to represent the residents of District 4 on Municipal Council for the last 4 years. I have enjoyed being on council and feel we have made a difference in the lives of our residents. Our doctor recruitment and retention committee has been successful. Improvements to rural internet are in the works. We have supported new businesses in the Hebron Park and contributed to renovations to the ferry terminal. We are working on new sidewalks and continue to work on the Mariners expansion project. A major task for the next council is to review a review of the municipal planning strategy and land use bylaw needed to address environmental concerns. I grew up in Yarmouth, moved away for school and work. I returned permanently 6 years ago after teaching in Toronto for 26 years. I own Hilbert and Bell's Art and Decor in Port Maitland. I have always been an advocate for an area, so in 2016 I ran for council and won by 1 vote, which confirms the old adage that every vote counts. We have much to do. I have the experience, drive, and leadership skills needed to lead the municipality into the future. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sandra Fitzgerald, and I grew up in town and have lived in the municipality for 40 years. I have 3 grown children and 9 grandchildren and 1 on the way. I'm an ECE by trade. I have owned my own business for many years. I worked for the school board when they put out the pre-primary at the first time in Carleton School. Really enjoyed that community. Then I started again, but I also have 5 self-published children's books. I've been elected member of the school board. Then they dissolved the school board, and right now, a year ago, I decided to run. I'm running in District 7, and I hope that District 7 will allow me to be their voice. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Nick Hilton, and I'm running in the council seat for District 7. I've lived in Yarmouth my entire life and feel privileged to call it home. I believe in the importance of community, the friendships that are made here, and the value of family. Growing up as a member of the local 4-H club, I was always taught to help others. As the current president of the Yarmouth Curling Association and a member of the Yarmouth Golf and Country Club Board of Directors, I enjoy spending my time giving back to the community. I am the proud grandson of a veteran, and I'm in my 18th year as a nurse at the Yarmouth Hospital. I believe in teamwork and in the importance of empowering others for the betterment of the community. As councilor, I hope to renew our relationships with all levels of government, stakeholders, and our own residents. If elected, I hope to be a strong but reasonable voice to move things forward for our community. Thank you.
Good evening, chamber members, fellow candidates, and viewing public. My name is Sherry Herlberg, and I'm running for councilor in District 3. I believe a connected community will be a safe, healthy, prosperous, economically strong, and engaged community. Change happens when we all work together for the greater good of this municipality. I'm a lifelong resident of District 3, where I grew up and now own the family home. I am an active Girl Guide leader, and we most recently moved to the Valley and District Fire Hall, and we're very grateful for them allowing us to use their facility. I'm on the board of the Yarmouth Agricultural Society, and last year I was a host parent to the Nova Scotia International Student Program. I'm also a fire department auxiliary member, and I have experience in union negotiations, and I've organized and participated in numerous community fundraisers. I have received volunteer awards from the municipality and NSCC for my community contributions. I have the desire, drive, and the experience to represent the residents of District 3. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Corrine Killum. I live in the Lake George area. I have 40 years of self-employment doing bookkeeping and income tax preparation, and am semi-retired, so now I have the time to devote to the community. I've volunteered for the past 20 years, first with the Argyll Historical and Genealogical Society. I served on the board there, first as secretary, then as treasurer. 12 years ago, I started up the defunct auxiliary for the Lakes and Districts Fire Department and have served as president for them since. I played a major role from start to finish with the new expansion of the fire hall in Lakes and Districts, adding 3 fire bays and an addition, a community hall. I have been in charge of the fundraising for the auxiliary, supplying the firefighters with equipment for their needs, and now are working on helping to pay out the debt for the new building. So I would like to say thank you.
As a young boy, I experienced a speech impediment, stuttering. This was very painful for me, and it prevented me from speaking in front of people. When I found my passion for singing and playing music, my stuttering subsided. With that said, I will introduce myself. Good evening. My name is Gerard Leblanc, and I grew up in Wedgeport. I met and married a gal from South Ohio, Diane Kahn, and we have lived in South Ohio for 45 years. I am dad to Stephanie and Jeremy, and Papa to Nicholas and Madison. I spent 2 years in the armed forces and then went to NSCC to become a barber, after which, for several years, I owned and operated a hair salon and a barber shop.
Hello, my name is Daniel Muse. Born and raised in District 2 in Arcadia. Presently married, have 5 children and 5 grandchildren. I work for Frito-Lay. I also own a business in Arcadia and own real estate in Arcadia as well. When I go knocking from door to door, they say, "Oh, you were my coach. You ref me." I'm very, very well known throughout the community. I've pretty much coached every kid in the community. I decided I was a counselor 16 years ago, and I decided that I would reoffer. I think there's the passion that I have for things that I do is the strong. I can be a strong voice for our community. There's a lot of things I think out there that we have to move forward on, and we have to move forward quickly. We can't be stalling, and we have to communicate with the other municipal councils around. So vote for me. I'll be your strong voice and give it everything I got.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gary Oliver. I live in Port Maitland, and I'm running in District 4. I'm married to Leslie Oliver. My wife Leslie and I moved here from Ontario a little over 3 years ago. My wife had taken a job at Yarmouth Hospital, and where she is now the Director of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine for Western Nova Scotia. So after 30 years, I retired from the fire service as a platoon chief. My wife and I have 4 children, all of them grown up with families of their own. I'm a member of Southwest Shriners in Yarmouth. I'm also a volunteer with the Port Maitland Fire Department. My wife and I volunteer with the Tri-County Radio Bingo at CJLS, which gives back to the Tri-County communities in the Tri-County area. I'm very community-oriented, which is why I'm running for council.
Hello, my name is Walter Pennell. I have grown up here in the county of Yarmouth all my life, lived there, grew up on a small farm, and now I own a business here in the Dayton area. As many of you know me as the chimney sweep or stove guy around. I've been doing that for over 30 years. And also involved in a church here in town as well. My father's a pastor there, and I'm also help with the things going on in the church. And I know there's a lot of things in the community that I've been interested in and wanted to have a say into, and I look at this possibility, this advantage of being a counselor as a way to bring another voice in and to be able to help guide things along. I'd appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Brian Brigio, and I'm from Lake George. I'm running for municipal council in District 4. I have strong family ties to this community, 4 generations. I worked formerly for 23 years with Yakro. My goal would be to listen to and represent your voice on the issues tabled. For example, affordable housing infrastructure investments, consolidation, amalgamation, and community engagements. As I have been out canvassing our community, these are topics for us to work on together. I will do my best to bring forth to council the concerns shared with me from the people in our district. I will also do my best to learn how decisions impact the people of our community. I know there are minority groups within our community that have a different experience while accessing services, and I want to work with them and service providers to create a positive experience. I will be part of a team that collectively makes financial decisions, and we need someone who is there for all the people, and I feel that I am that candidate. Most importantly, I know we all can make a difference, so please take the time to vote. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for holding this forum. My name is Bruce Roberts, and I'm a lifelong resident of South Ohio. I'm running for municipal councilor in District 3. I've been married to my wife Paulette for 43 years, bless her heart. My motto is to keep it short and simple. I live in, always been a keen interest in politics, and now I have the time to pursue it since I'm retired. Some things I've been involved in over the years. I was a member of the Kinsmen's Club of Yarmouth. I'm a certified level 2 baseball and hockey coach. I was a co-owner of a seniors boarding home for 11 years. I worked and helped manage Yarmouth Excavators Limited. I'm a graduate of the online course of Joe Marshall Negotiation Skills Levels 1, 2, and 3, Understanding and Applying Financial Options, Telephone Marketing and Selling Skills. I was also a CUPE rep for Local 2530, representing the Public Works and Parks Department of the town of Yarmouth. If I'm elected, I hope some of these experiences will be helpful on council. Thank you.
And good evening. My name is Patty Simpson, and I'm offering to be counselor for the District 5, the municipality of the District of Yarmouth. Like you, I want a vital, viable, safe, and sustainable community for now and for all of our future families. Our legacy can be just so positive. It will help us lead us forward if I will build upon the incredible strengths, the values, and the roots that have already been established here. Moving forward is going to require cooperation, an understanding of people, knowledge of policies and government workings, appreciative analysis, and a desire to work hard. My education, professional and volunteering experiences have given me these abilities. I listen, I work, I learn. For the past 2 years, I've had the privilege of being appointed as citizen representative for the municipality's Planning Advisory Committee. It is here that I've learned about the opportunities that present themselves. Together, we can be a strong, consolidated municipality. Thank you.
Thank you all very much for that. So we'll begin with the first question. As many people have found out, a first time purchasing a home, a house, can be very daunting. Folks, first time home buyers, often faced with expenses that they didn't realize they were going to have to face. Now, some municipal units in Nova Scotia have abolished the deed transfer tax. Some have reduced it to 0.5%. This is to encourage first-time buyers to settle into their municipalities. So the question, Do you feel that abolishing the deed transfer tax for first-time home owners might be a way for the municipality of the District of Yarmouth to entice first-time home buyers into the municipality?
Now, we've randomized the order for answers so that we can keep it fair going around the room. Up first for a response, Scottie Boudreau.
So I'm not going to profess I'm an expert at the deed transfer tax, but if you abolish the deed transfer tax, that's less money for first-time home buyers to dish out. So it should help the final cost of your home purchase. For affordable housing, maybe some of that deed transfer tax could be used to subsidize the purchase of a home or building of infrastructure for affordable housing. That's all I can think of at the moment for the deed transfer tax. Thank you.
Thank you, Scotty. Next up, Adam Churchill.
I think that getting rid of the affordable housing tax is gonna, it would help maybe allow people to settle into Yarmouth or any municipality a little more, because there's a little less that they would have to put out, or the deed transfer tax, sorry. It's an issue that we have in our area that trying to keep and retain people here because of the cost of some of the housing in the area. So with this, it may help retain people in our area.
Thank you. Next up, Patty Simpson.
Thank you for the question. My understanding is the deed transfer tax is rate is set by the municipality, and the current rate of the municipality of Yarmouth is 1%. That funding, that tax base, would go toward finding solutions for affordable housing. I believe that affordable housing is more about that. It's more about creating sustainable, affordable, appropriate, and accessible housing options for a wide variety of our people. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Trevor Cunningham.
Right, and we did bring in the deed transfer tax. It's a bylaw, Municipality District of Yarmouth, and again, to Mr. Boudreau's point, there are finite sources of revenues for municipal units around Nova Scotia, including the Municipality District of Yarmouth. We have been strategic, however, of late, and we will be introducing a capital expenditure tax relief for businesses in the community. So businesses that invest in excess of $100,000 will see a tax relief in terms of a declining balance over 10 years. So for instance, in the first year, they'll pay 10% of the tax that they would usually have on that capital investment, and on down to returning to a normal tax rate. So that's encouraging investment and encouraging jobs. So again, you've got to be strategic about where tax relief goes. And again, everything's on the table. We can reconsider this. It's a good question. But for now, obviously, we have the bylaw in place, and it'll remain there until we have a conversation about it, at NSFM, Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities, and again, there are not many units that are not employing the tax. So again, we'd have to make the revenue up somewhere else. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor. Next up, Sandra Fitzgerald.
With the D-tax, I think myself that, yes, they should get rid of it. It is a one-time tax for when buying homes, and it would help the younger people. It would give them a relief on money-wise. They are taxed enough as young people with student loans and everything else and starting out in new families. This they have gotten rid of this in some places across Nova Scotia, and I think we should take a look at it and really just let it go. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Walter Pennell.
Nobody likes to pay taxes. The one-time home buyer, they face enough fees. When it comes to the end, my son just bought a house, and usually you're surprised at how many fees there are extra taxed onto when you're buying a house. So people are always looking for a way to alleviate some of these fees on the first-time buyer. And so, in one aspect, I guess it would take a little bit more studying to see how it actually affects a lot of these one-time buyers. In one aspect, it's compared to the other fees they have, sometimes it can be small in size, but it's another burden for them to pay.
Thank you. Next up, Nick Hilton.
The Federation of the Municipalities, or Canadian Municipalities, has identified housing as a key area of focus. Everyone has the right to a safe and decent place to live. It means more than just having a roof over your head. We need to encourage home buyers in all areas. Although the deed transfer tax is, as it says, another tax, we as Canadians realize the benefits of this. Speaking with 2 realtors, the 5% down, along with all these hidden fees, are what can scare people away from purchasing a house in our municipality. I am for supporting low-income families by eliminating the the deed transfer tax. It is equal between all municipalities. We all pay 1%, so I have no issue with eliminating the deed transfer tax or any low-income family. Investing in our housing and investing in housing, community transportation, and investing in each other is what will allow us to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Next up, Daniel Muse.
The deed transfer tax. The municipality only has a few ways of getting money, so I think the deed transfer tax is not something you should abolish. If you put a dollar figure on it, if someone buys a $100,000 home, that's $1,000 you're asking them to pay. I realize there's lots of other fees, but I think that maybe you could do a deferred program for over 5 years, that they would have 5 years to pay that $1,000 on a $100,000 home. Because we do have to collect money. We are basically a business out here. If we abolish it, that's the money gone, and we need all the money we can to do with other things that we want to do. So I would still want it, but maybe add a deferred program.
Thank you. Next up, Brian Burgio.
Hi, on affordable housing. I just want to start with saying our municipality does have a shortage of affordable housing and accessible housing, and it's a significant shortage. For example, housing for seniors, housing for individuals with accessibility issues or living with disabilities, kids, as example, shift house, youth services, persons with addictions and addiction services, the queer community, LGBTQ, youth, transition homes, single parents, and that's just to name a few. We do have a problem with invisible homelessness. As a councillor, we will have the opportunity to influence policy by working towards ensuring everyone has a safe place to call home, which we all need, and bringing experts to the table and making sure experts are invited and they're guiding us in our decision making. As far as the deed transfer, no, for me. It's applicable when property is sold and it's set by each municipality. It's said that is 1% here. If that 1% is being used towards housing and people that are in needs of that, I'm kind of on the fence, to be truthful, and I concur, though it is less money for our new homeowners to build with or to do things with. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Just a reminder to everybody, although we don't have speakers, if you could pick up the microphones and speak into the microphones, that'd be great, and it'll go through the audio on the live feed. That's okay, Brian. You'll get it on the next one. Next up, Sherry Herlberg.
Although I'm not an expert on the deed transfer tax, I do know that affordable housing in the municipality of Yarmouth is an issue. And on first glance, I would think that the 1% that is collected as the tax by all property sold could be used to support affordable housing in the municipality of Yarmouth for our renters, our seniors, our low income, and all of our disadvantaged in our community. If we think about how the 30% affordability threshold for income groups, that would mean that a renter in the municipality of Yarmouth would pay between $250 and $750 a month because the average income in Yarmouth County is Yarmouth County has more than half of the residents under $40,000. So their average income falls between $10,000 and $30,000 a year. So $250 to $750 a month for rent seems totally out of scale for what we need in this area. And I think using the D-transfer tax to supplement that would be helpful for housing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Corrine Killum.
Hi. My viewpoint on the deed transfer tax would be that it is a very minimal amount, actually, when you think about it. And if it was going to be used to help support lower income people with it, because anybody that's a new homeowner, home buyer, they also get a credit on their tax return when they file. So they're getting a savings there. So the deed transfer tax, if it were used for lower income people who can't afford the housing, I would go with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Jim Baxter.
Deed transfer tax for new home buyers. Any money is good money. 1% is still $1,000 on a $100,000 home. I think for new home buyers, we also have to promote what's available for them now. Through Nova Scotia Housing, they can borrow up to 5% of the purchase price of a home for 10 years at 0% interest. And they can also defer that first year of payments, which any new home buyer is going to have a bunch of unexpected expenses. Where I would think that the deed transfer tax might be interesting is if we offered it to builders or developers who would purchase some of our bigger, older homes and convert them into apartment units and give them the 1% off, which would make more available housing to people who need it. And they could become involved in the low-income families could become involved in the rental supplement program, which would also subsidize their rent. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Dolores Atwood.
Thank you so much. I think that that's like Jim Baxter said, every money is a good money. However, for me, I think that it's good, but that's not enough. That's not enough because we need other things to attract our young people here. Not just that. That is just that's nothing compared to what we actually bring them here to stay here. And that will include the jobs. They need the job to stay. That's the first thing. And secondly, I don't think that even with that, I don't think that they could stay here because they don't even have the housing to stay. There's not enough houses to go around. We have people, doctors who come here. We have young people who want to start a life here. They don't have what it takes to start a life here. They don't have the money because they don't have the job. Even if they want to buy homes, they don't have selective homes to buy. So there's a lot of things, not just that 1%. That 1% is just a peanut. We need real solution. Those are bandage solutions. We need real solution to the problems, things that will bring our young people to come here. We don't need a bandage solution. If we can create a job by our economic development, providing infrastructure, and providing job, getting contractors to come here and to build units of homes for people to come here, pave our roads, keep our road well. All these are things that we need to keep our young people here, not just 1% of first-time buyers. I would take that, including what I just mentioned. Thank you.
Next up, Gary Oliver.
Yeah, I never received the questions beforehand, but just listening to the opinions of a lot of the people in here, I think it's probably a good idea to keep the deed tax, but for first-time buyers, it might be a good idea to give them some kind of a break, maybe give them a 0.5% off, or maybe even eliminate it entirely, since they already have some breaks on their income tax.
Thank you. Next up, Patty Durkee.
Thank you. There's no doubt that we have a shortage of affordable housing. Quite frankly, I'm more concerned about the lack of affordable rentals than I am housing. Have you looked at our real estate market lately? It's been hopping and things have been going really well. So I don't think that's actually distracting people from buying. That being said, for first-time homeowners, yeah, it might be something to consider and something that council can look at. However, that being said as well, first-time buyers do get tax credits, so they have other things that that are offered to them. Again, I'd like to go back to the fact that our affordable rentals are really low. So if we could turn that around to try and help developers with that, then maybe that's something that we would consider. But remember, we still have to have income, and that income goes to services for those people who are buying homes. So it's something that we could consider, but have to consider very carefully. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Gerard Leblanc.
When I bought my first house, I can't remember what the taxes were, but I know that it was quite an investment for us, our first house. But in saying that, I believe that the 1% tax, I think it should stay. Although I agree with Gary, yeah, and Patty that the first-time buyers should, we should look at that and give them a break, but we still need that 1% tax. A lot of people are asking me, what do you do? What do you do for the municipality? We don't see anything. But people don't realize that we pay for the RCMPs, we pay for education, we pay for the fire department, which is, I'm talking millions. So we need taxes. This is not something that we can eliminate. But so that 1% doesn't, it doesn't, it's not a big deal. As maybe for some first-time buyers and older people that are on fixed income, maybe we could give them a break. But I'm for to keep the 1% tax.
Thank you. Next up, Joan Brewer.
Hi. Affordable housing is a huge issue for people in our municipality, and I know that buying a house, there are a lot of costs associated with purchasing a house, especially for young people with huge debt loads. When I look at the municipal tax, the deed transfer tax across the province, I see that Kentville and Kings both have no taxes on new purchases. Most other municipalities across the province are in the 1 to 1.5% range. Clare is 0.5. So maybe we're losing home purchases to Clare because it's cheaper there. Instead of maybe dropping the tax or dropping it for first-time owners, maybe it would be more appropriate to reduce the tax rate for people who are purchasing homes under a particular price point. So that would help with affordable housing for some of the people who are struggling. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Bruce Roberts.
Deed transfer tax. I'm not an authority on the subject, but I did a little bit of quick homework here. Apparently when land is sold, there's a tax applicable by the seller or the buyer, apparently seller, and that is put into affordable housing. Now, affordable housing in Yarmouth is a huge issue, and 50% of the people in Yarmouth rent. Due to the high cost of rent, low wages, some sectors, people are having a hard time to keep rent paid and food on the table. But is this 1% tax going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back for the new homeowner? The requirements by banks are getting higher and higher all the time for people to borrow money. So do we discourage people from buying homes and put them in rentals or, you know, in subsidized housing, or do we give them people a break? I guess that's a hard question to answer. I know, can you imagine the relief of someone on the edge of homelessness hearing the words, "We can help you with affordable, safe housing"? That's a solution I like to be part of. I think maybe the answer to that would be, how affluent is the person buying the house? If he's above a certain income level, do we give that guy a hand, or do we make him finance that $1,000 over 25 years? If it was up to me, I would say first-time homeowner should have a break.
Thank you. Next up, Lauren Cushing.
Thank you. As with all my decisions on council concerning topics that are brought forward to our council, I would like to understand more about the tax and how it is used. If the 1% on first-time buyers was eliminated, it may encourage new homes. But this would be a decision of council. An important issue such as this, council will need to weigh the pros and cons in doing such a move. However, if the tax is used for affordable housing, then council would then determine the overall budget, or the overall benefit, I'm sorry. So in saying that, I believe the benefits would certainly outweigh the cons. So I think it's something that we definitely need to be discussed at a council level. Thank you.
Thank you. And last up, John Cunningham.
Thank you very much. As far as I'm concerned, it's up to government to create the conditions for people to thrive. This is all done through policies and bylaws, and as a couple of people have mentioned in here tonight, that we have a policy in that regard. Should that policy be looked at? Absolutely. For governments to operate, we have budgets and we deliver services. Now, we have to look at the bottom line when it comes to budgetary items on how is that going to affect the services down the line. Should this be looked at? Absolutely. I've always been an advocate. If it isn't working, go back and look at it. But on the other side is how much is this going to cost? Because if you want to keep the same services and you're losing a revenue stream, which the municipal governments have very limited revenue streams, it's just through property taxes, revenues, through the deed transfer tax. We have a couple things out there like wind turbines and stuff that we get a little bit of revenue from. But that's something that we really got to look and watch. And maybe we can look through departments like the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities to help us with this, to get some funding. Maybe we could look to the Federation of Canadian Municipalities to look at things like the gas tax that we get. We're not allowed to use that to offset any policy like that, to my knowledge. Now, that's something that councils could look at through the different organizations that we work with. So that would be my answer to that.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for first question of our three for tonight. Next up, Gary, go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, candidates. So this question relates to infrastructure investments. With the YMCA now closed, the Mariner Center expansion has become even more of a priority in many minds of many residents. What infrastructure investments do you see as a priority for the municipality of the District of Yarmouth, and what sort of timeline makes sense?
So I just want to remind everybody, please speak into your microphone so it goes out properly over to the live stream. And don't forget, you've only got a minute. First up in this, again, it's randomized. So first up to answer is going to be Lauren Cushing.
Thank you. Well, infrastructure projects, a very important subject. The municipality of District 11 has fostered a Cape for Shoe comprehensive master plan for our iconic lighthouse located within District 6 of the municipality of Yarmouth. The plan received from the municipality, consulted tourism partners, and most importantly, the general public and the local residents of District 6. The purpose of this master plan increases a visitor's experience of our iconic light station in making it an enjoyable, relaxing, learning opportunity of the history of Cape for Shoe. So that is, I believe, is a priority, and Councillor Cunningham had mentioned about if it's in the works to be done, it will be done. So we do have that in the works. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Patty Durkee.
We are surrounded by water. Children need swimming lessons, adults benefit from water exercises, and we have a swim team with no pool. We need to reopen the former YMCA building. The town has bought the building. It does need some repairs, but it's still viable. Many people from the municipality of Yarmouth use the facilities. This is not a town versus a county issue. This is a regional issue. With a new roof, some renovations, a refresh, and new programs, it could be the bridge we need to tide us over until we get our Mariner Center expansion. We need more activities for kids as well, which is why I support a splash park. The Mariner Center would be a great location since change and washrooms already exist. And when should they be done? Right away. There's no reason we can't invest in getting that pool going again. With COVID-19, a goal is to have people spending more time outside where they can be easily 6 feet from others. I am pleased that the municipality has put out an RFP for a study on active transportation route along Lake Milo. Council's job is to create the environment for families to thrive. We need a facility for Yarmouth County residents and to attract young professionals to settle here. Providing these services is part of the municipality's core mandate, and if we can work together, we can do this. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Sherry Hilbert.
Thank you. I feel the number one priority for the municipality is to work to get the YMCA open and accessible to all members of our public. Although we know the Mariner Center expansion is, for some people, a priority, I think that it's going to be quite a few years before that actually comes to completion. And we have people, we have youth, we have seniors, we have people with physical disabilities who need something now. And it would be my priority as your council member to make the YMCA open and accessible to everyone as soon as possible. As a counselor, I would be committed to spending the taxpayers' money wisely, and that would bring growth and prosperity to the community. So YMCA, open, get it open as fast as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Walter Pennell.
Like any business, infrastructure is a vital asset to any business to keep things moving smoothly. In the community, I know you go by the YMCA anytime, there's always lines up going in and out, kids coming and going. So having an activity or sports complex is a vital addition to any community. And it brings people together, it produces like our hockey team, the Mariners, that place is always packed every night, there's a game there. And it brings camaraderie amongst people. People come out to fellowship and have a good time and watch a hockey game. When it comes to sports and stuff like that, whether it be the YMCA that we invest money into, or really seriously look into the expansion of the Mariner Center and invest into that, is going to have to be discussed and really looked into more seriously and debated.
Thank you. Next up, Jim Baxter.
There are a number of infrastructure issues that we need to address in District 4. Rural internet access, road drainage, signage, both street and civic, sewer capacity, water supply, and wharf upgrades. Internet. In almost all of the communities in District 4, there are dead zones for high-speed internet. This time of day, it's not acceptable. With COVID-19 happening, we're asking people to stay at home, but we're not making that realistic for them. Road drainage. I've had some voters mention to me that their roads are lakes at certain times of the year and that their lawns flood because there's no culverts under their driveway. Street signs. We need to repair the damaged and missing signs. It's nice for us to put a new beach sign up that's pretty and attracts people from other areas, but they're coming from other areas. Where's the stop sign at the end of that road? And civic, we need to mandate a standard for civic signage. We can't have emergency services looking for a home in a situation where they need to be there now. We can't wait for a tragedy to happen for us to decide that civic signage is important.
Thank you. Next up, Nick Hilton.
My interest in municipal politics grew while sitting in a joint meeting of all three councils as we lost our Mariner Center expansion the first time. A fishing community with no pool makes no sense. A pool and a splash park are needed now. Investing in infrastructure is an investment for the future of our community. We must work together to improve the facilities we currently have while planning for the ones we need. High-speed internet has become a necessity. Funding for rural internet has been available provincially for a while now. Other counties are nearing completion as we continue to struggle. Residents continue to express concerns over roads, street signs, and sidewalks. And although they don't always fall under municipal responsibilities, as your representative, I'm listening, and I will always push these concerns forward and work to find a creative solution as needed. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Gary Oliver.
I hate to agree with one of my competitors, but being from District 4, there's a lot of things that I've heard too, knocking on doors about internet and signage and other things that since we're from District 4, should be taken care of first. As far as the swimming pool at the YW, we'd have to look into, well, I mean, I don't know personally how much it's going to cost to refurbish it, but we'd have to compare the cost of building one out of the Mariner Center and what it would cost to refurbish the YW, and whatever is, obviously, if it's going to be close to the same, we're better off building a new one. So that's my feeling on that.
Thank you. Next up, Brian Brigio.
Hi. In regards to what's been talked about with the Mariner Center and with the YMCA, I totally agree. We need a place for our children to go. I'm fortunate I live in the country, so my children have a place, my grandchildren have a place to play. And as we all know, the province is already pushing towards amalgamation, and recreation is one service that's already amalgamated in our area. One concern brought up by members of the community is that our taxes will be increased without receiving matching services, and that's to do with amalgamation. I cannot support the potential increased cost and taxation to our communities that will be adding to issues such as affordable housing. And with increased taxes, this could increase financial burden to our community members. And I stand with the residents and support them on this concern.
Thank you. Next up, Bruce Roberts.
In regards to the YMCA, I feel that to start with, I was flabbergasted when I heard they closed it down before we did have the Mariner Center completed. However, I got a pretty good background in construction and all that sort of thing, and to restore a building and a pool that just doesn't suit our community needs, I think is throwing good money after bad right now, and I think that we should try to have a master plan for the Mariner Center, go ahead full speed. And in regards to some other infrastructure stuff, like we have gone ahead and had internet improved to the tune of $300,000 or so from the municipality, and we've had water and sewage upgrades. Our roads are not getting paved, chip sealed. The dust is unbearable back where I live anyway. The bushes are almost in the road, making many areas, passing lanes, access to and from driveways and intersections a deadly endeavor. It would be nice to have the South Ohio sidewalk extended to the trail so it would provide the pedestrians with a safe place to walk, and as well as on the end of the Saunders Road, on the 340 end is a dangerous spot there. The kids are walking in the road trying to get to a spot to wait for the bus. Our signage is all but non-existent. So anyway, along with the Mariner Center, we do have a lot of other infrastructure that I think needs to be taken care of in our District 3.
Thank you. Next up, Daniel Muse.
Infrastructure, YMCA, when? Tomorrow. We need it. It has to happen. Mariner Center expansion, multi-purpose center, has to happen. We need that for a future. It attracts doctors, keeps them here, they want that stuff. One thing that has been mentioned, I think, is the last few years, major droughts in the communities that I've been going to. Wells dry all over the place. We have to develop some kind of structure that they can go in the community and get water on a regular basis, not have to wait at certain times for volunteers to come to the Mariner Center. So that's a big one right there. Every house I go to in my communities, the well's dry or they got jugs outside, so that's a huge one.
Thank you. Next up, Dolores Atwood.
What happened to the YMCA is a very sad news. For me, I have an office in that building, and I know all that was happening there. It is not just a pool. It's not just about the pool, but the pool is very important as well. In the winter, we cannot go to the lake and swim. The kids can go to the lake in the winter to swim. Most of them, when they close from school, that's where they come, exercise, and do all sorts of things there. We have seniors, we have young youth from the high school that come there before they go to school. We have all kinds of things, programs for seniors. And when people come to our community, maybe from other parts of Canada and things like that, or outside Canada, maybe the doctors with their family, they come here. We always bring them there to show them that this is a place your kids can come and socialize and meet with people. It's unfortunately that we could not see the importance of that facility. For that facility to be closed, for me, that is another thing that triggered me to run. I said to myself, if I was there, probably I could have made people see things the way I see it. For me, it is a big thing for that infrastructure to be gone. Well, if I get elected, I think the Mariner Center is going to be another alternative we could, for families, and I hope they will have pools and what they have in the YMCA there. If probably make another YMCA right there next to the Mariner Center, because we do need these infrastructures, and these are the things that attract parents, attract medical doctors, attract our young people who have left this community to come back to us. But when these things are, being closed down and, taken away from us, everything is being taken away from us. And we are wondering why we don't have our population increasing. Why will it increase, when we keep closing down everything that we know that are useful to people who want to come here? It is very, very sad. But I think the, Mariner Center will be the next thing that we'll continue to work on immediately if I get elected. I hope so. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Joan Brewer.
Infrastructure is really important to look at what our residents and families want and to make sure that their needs are met and that we can attract people, especially physicians and others that are in high demand to our area. Keeping the Y open is critical. Not only is it a pool, it's the only indoor basketball court for our youth. It's the only place that houses a racquetball court. It's a place where we help develop the leadership skills in children and youth at risk. It's really, really essential to the town, and I think that we need to keep the funding going to this until we can open up an expansion at the Mariner Center. Splash Park's another thing that I think is very critical. Families want this. High-speed internet is no longer a frill. It's a basic necessity, and if we're going to allow people to stay and work in their homes, we need to have that up and running. Addressing health and safety issues like the drought issues, and also widening shoulders of roads so people can walk safely on the roads is important. Thank you.
Thank you. Trevor Cunningham.
Infrastructure, fantastic question, by the way. Thank you for giving us that question. I just wanted to tell everybody that I think as a counselor for District 5 over my terms, I've really delivered on infrastructure. 340, Highway 340 from the corner of 1 up to the railway track, brand new sidewalk, $800,000 project, fantastic infrastructure. I was there recently campaigning door to door, and there were even folks down from South Ohio 2 separate nights walking on the sidewalks. So sidewalks are fantastic, and again, I've indicated that we're going to get those ones built on Route 1 between the red and white and the railway track on the Greenville Road. I'll also mention we did the street light LED upgrade, on my time in council, and we've saved hundreds of thousands of dollars in energy. Lastly, the pool. I'm 100% for supporting the Centennial Building pool, but we do need to transition quickly to an upgrade at the Mariners Center. The Elmsdale pool, there's a pool in Elmsdale, wonderful 25-meter pool, which our swim team needs and deserves, and that will certainly attract people's therapeutic pool there as well. So we need that to happen sooner rather than later, but absolutely looking at partnering with the town and the province to get the pool open. It needs to be open now. So thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Gerard Leblanc.
Infrastructure. First of all, the internet, as someone said, there was, I don't know what he called it, black spots or whatever. I know what he means. I'm not in that district, but we have the same thing in District 3. But there's a lot of people that have told me that they need the internet because they're working from home. And one lady was telling me what it took 8 hours to do at the place of work now takes her about 12 hours because she's it's almost like dial-up. So she needs the internet. That's the first thing. Now the Mariner Center, that's a big one. We need a pool there, first of all. I know that the YMCA building was purchased by the town, and we support putting that back up, getting the pool ready for people to use. A lot of people are using that. Even the doctors recommend some activities there at the Y. But and then there's a ferry terminal. It's being worked on now. There's a $9 million that's going into that. Small wind turbines. We've got 2 on the Rose Road, and that's making some money for us. It's almost already paid for, but we need some more. We could use some more for more revenue. Cape Forshue Lighthouse. We have a master plan there. That's going to be a world-class tourist destination. If you have a chance to look at the plan or ask one of the councilors to tell that was on the committee to tell you what is available there.
Thanks, Gerard.
Yeah, okay.
Next up, Corrine Killum.
Infrastructure. First of all, in this day and age with COVID, with everything going on, high-speed internet is definitely a must. We need to get people connected. As far as the Y goes, I would have to say I would be concerned with safety issues at the Y in opening that right now. That's something that I would want to look at, is that to make sure that it's safe for people to go in there and use, because I've heard and people have told me that things are falling apart in the Y. So that would be my concern there. We definitely need something temporary and until the move goes to the Mariner Center. Also in my district, number 4, a concern was that we need a breakwater barrier to stop the erosion in the Sanford area. The water is coming out over the roads. It'll wash them away. So we need something there to work maybe with the Department of Transportation and place armor stone on the shores to stop the deterioration of the land. So I agree with basically everything that's being said here tonight with infrastructure, but there are things that need to be looked at first. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Sandra Fitzgerald.
Infrastructure. It's a standard of living. It is important to do all the upgrades in the communities so that we need to work with the government officials to see what funding is available. It's great to keep our communities and our town up to date, and so that we can attract people to come here and live here. And yes, it's sad that we have lost our Y. We do need a pool. We need one at the Mariner Center, and it would be great to reopen the YMCA and to have a splash park and everything, but people are forgetting. Right now, we're into COVID. Our summers are getting drier, and what's gonna happen? Those splash parks aren't gonna be open in the summer because we don't have the water. The thing of it is, we can't have those children playing basketball into the YMCA or into any school area because right now they're not allowed. We have to keep our social distancing. People have to realize to be patient, to come together and work together. We can't have these things unless we turn around and take our time and do what we're supposed to be doing so that we can get through this COVID, so that we can address these things. But first of all, we have to get through COVID first. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Patty Simpson.
Thank you. I just want to thank everyone who's participated in the conversation for all of your energy and your passion that you're showing for infrastructure asset management. It's been great to sit back and reflect on all the comments. It's absolutely essential and vital to our ongoing health of our communities that we have a solid, vibrant, future-oriented infrastructure asset management strategy and program. Examples, the Y is devastating that it closed. Absolutely devastating that crown jewel in our community has closed its doors. It's absolutely imperative that it be open as soon as possible. And I realize that is going to take some work around funding and strategies, but it's absolutely essential that it will serve as a bridge until the Mariner Center expansion can come to fruition. And it's an absolutely crucial jewel in our crown that we need as well. We want to be a world-class destination. The Mariner Center had exciting news today with the appointment and the hiring and the start date of a new CEO. Future-oriented, great skill set, and I am just filled with lots of enthusiasm and passion for the possibilities that exist. I too have heard about rural internet. I see my time is up. Can't echo the sentiments fast enough. Splash Park can happen tomorrow, but together, if we look for new solutions, we will find a way forward.
Thank you. Next up, John Cunningham.
Remember at the very start of this, I said unfinished business? For me, unfinished business is the internet project that's happening out in rural Nova Scotia. Currently, District 1, we have less than 25% people served with any sort of internet at all. That's the reason why I run. Another part of my unfinished business is the Mariner Center expansion. As you may or may not know, I'm currently the chair of the new Yargal 2024 expansion committee that started on working on the expansion of the Mariner Center. That is another thing that I wanted to make sure that was done. Another piece of unfinished business is everyone's forgetting about is cell service all across the Tri-Counties. There's next to none when you get out in the county. That's another piece of my unfinished business. I hear lots of great ideas today about different pieces of infrastructure, but since I'm one of the senior council members currently sitting, I want to warn every one of you. We only have so many dollars through the Municipality District of Yarmouth. We have $14 million. We have to pick priorities. A lot of those priorities happen with partnerships. partnerships with the federal and provincial governments. We got to be very careful that we pick our top 3 priorities and stick to them. There's nothing that I hate more than bipolar politics. Once we have a plan, I'd like to see move forward with the plan. And that's what I've seen from the last term, and what I'm hearing tonight here, we're going to continue on with the plan that all 3 municipal units, or at least Yarmouth County, has continued on.
Thank you. Next up, Adam Churchill.
Well, I've worked my entire life in a locally owned family business, so I know you need to invest in your business and in your infrastructure in order to grow and be sustainable. So our approach to municipal infrastructure should be the same as running a business. Working with the province to make sure we have paved roads, so that's a given. But we need to look at what makes us unique and attractive to businesses and visitors. We need to be prepared to invest so we can capitalize on them. In my district, I think something as basic as need bathrooms at the Johns Cove Beach, or maybe improving the accessibility at the Cape Virtue Lighthouse. That could benefit our entire area. In our water region, we can't drag our feet anymore on the Mariner Center expansion. It needs to happen now. But within saying that, even if it were to start tomorrow, it still would probably take 2 years to build. So we need the YMCA opened now for the bridge until the Mariner Center can be completed.
Thank you. And last up, Scottie Boudreau.
The Mariner Center expansion should be a priority for the municipality. This expansion could answer some of the other needs in our area. A place with the correct size pool, walking track, etc. This recreation facility would attract and keep young families in our area. So we should focus on getting this done as soon as possible. Roads are another concern I hear going door to door in my district. The Mill Creek Road in my district is in such a bad shape that home care does not feel safe driving on it to go visit seniors. Another priority is high-speed internet. We're asking people to vote online. Some people don't. If it's the internet I used to have, I don't think I could vote online. It's better now and hopefully be better in the next couple of months. Kids doing their schoolwork online, people working from home, they need reliable, high-speed internet to do so. It's almost impossible without it. Going forward, we have to work with all levels of government to get these infrastructure projects done.
Thank you. And that's the end of question number 2.
This question relates to consolidation and amalgamation. COVID, of course, has brought municipal finances into the forefront, with some streams of revenue dwindling and the desire, of course, not to raise taxes. Question, will consolidation, amalgamation, be something that all 3 units should be considering as a way to plan ahead for the continued strength and future of survival in this area?
Thank you, Gary. First up, Nick Hilton.
We need to recognize that amalgamation is a real issue. It is a discussion happening in communities across the country. Passing time has made the world more interconnected, and the importance of working together towards common goals has never been more clear. Time wasted on discussions between councils, the inability to present a unified voice, a lack of leadership in the area are all issues that need to be discussed. We need to stay open-minded to the bigger picture. Proper assessment along with community consultations would need to be done before the any decisions could be made. Amalgamation may not be the solution, but no matter what the outcome, it is clear that the 3 municipalities need to be better in collaboration to move us forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Sherry Hilbert.
Consolidation. I feel that the municipal leaders in all 3 municipalities need to schedule joint meetings to discuss in depth the benefits of consolidation at regular intervals in order to figure out what is best for the 3 municipalities. I think they need to discuss boundaries, taxation, debt, administrative services, structures, regional planning, and public engagement. I feel that communication is the key for this. It is important that each councillor in all 3 municipalities represents their residents. We need to provide multiple opportunities and venues for sharing of this information. We need to make sure that our voting public, the people who have elected us, know what we as councillors are doing when it comes to consolidation. I think that we need to ensure that projects and opportunities are not missed out on because we are not working together. I think that we need to do what's best for our region, and getting together and discussing that is a number one priority. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, Brian Burgio.
Hi, I messed up the last time. I talked about consolidation and amalgamation. I'm agreeing with some of the issues with it, but I also have to agree with the people that I've spoken with in my community. And that is one of the biggest concerns is to do with the services that we would receive in the communities where we live. And we live in an out area. So, and the biggest concern with that is to do like with sewer and water, whereas we will not receive the same as people in, I don't even know what the district is, in Heber and South Ohio and down in that area. And again, the province is pushing for it, and I'm keeping an open mind. And yes, I agree with Sherry, and she had commented about how we have to do what's best for everybody, and I agree 100% with that. But everybody includes us that are in the outlying areas as well. I realize the numbers are not the same where I live, but we still count in this. And so I'm going to support the people that I have gone and canvassed at, and I do stand with them, and I will support them to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Scottie Boudreau.
I think we need to be open-minded about amalgamation. If it makes sense, it's something we should probably do. A municipality, a unit, right now, every project that goes around in our area, we're always waiting for the response of another adjacent municipality. If they're on board, if they're not, the project doesn't go forward. Everybody uses, in our area, all the municipalities use mostly all areas in the municipality, so any project that comes along, like the Mariners expansion, if one municipality is not for it, then the project probably doesn't go on. Amalgamation would eliminate those issues and the time wasted waiting for decisions from other municipalities that use these avenues like the rest of us. So I think amalgamation is a good idea if it makes sense to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Adam Churchill.
When the YMCA closed earlier this year, it was a huge loss to our entire community. I can't help but think that if our local municipal councils were all on the same page, we may have avoided this and maybe had a plan to provide these services until the Mariner Center expansion was underway. I do support municipal amalgamation only if it makes sense for our community. We can't afford any more lost funding opportunities because of lack of communication between the councils. I am committed to find better ways to work together with the municipal units on projects like the Mariner Center expansion. An expanded Mariner Center with a new aquatic facility needs to happen. These projects are critical to our ability to recruit professionals like doctors and make our area more attractive for businesses. We can't waste any more time.
Thank you. Next up, Patty Simpson.
Thank you. It's a great question, so thank you for posing that to us all this evening. Consolidation, amalgamation. They're two very different concepts. We can consolidate resources. Amalgamation could be one unit. I truly believe that it's going to take courage by our leaders at the table to bring the parties together to begin to have the tough conversations around where we can find common ground in order to move forward. And I believe that's the very first step. I can't say tonight whether amalgamation, consolidation would be good or bad. We don't know what it's going to look like, but we do know that we need to listen to the voice of our residents. We need to bring to the table the best of what we have, the strengths, the values, the roots that we've been entrenched upon. Find that common ground and move forward. Talk about what we have that's great. What else do we need to do, and how can we make it happen? So it is my pledge to certainly work very hard to facilitate those tough conversations and allow us to move forward.
Thank you. Next up, John Cunningham.
Thank you very much for the question, and thank you everyone for your honest answers so far on consolidation amalgamation. As I'm sure most of you are aware, I voted no the last time it was brought up before the Municipality District of Yarmouth. I did speak about 3 main themes that I had during that. The 3 were representation by population, all 3 municipal units, and taxation by services. Oops. Isn't that funny? I was told to turn that off. As we all know, that's an awful tough question, and I ultimately voted no because I felt it was led by the province. If it was happening way too quickly, and we needed to have the people engaged in the whole process, and this election is getting everybody engaged, whether it be people for or against or not. To be very honest, with the way that I see it, there's 20% of the people out there that are totally for it, 20% that are totally against it, and the other 60% down the middle, as long as my taxes don't go up. But it's a conversation that we all have to have, and what it looks like in the end of the day, I don't know. Should we be talking about 2, 3, all of Southwest Nova? Those conversations has to be had. We all have to sit down and think about where this is heading. But there's one thing that I don't want to see is the province lead the whole thing and it go before the Utility and Review Board and take the decision out of the people's hands.
Thank you. Next up, Gary Oliver.
I think it's something that definitely should be looked into. Some of the people that I've talked to, the first thing that they're afraid of is that their taxes are going to go through the roof if we consolidate or amalgamate with the other 2. So we should be looking into it. And once we know exactly how it's going to work or how it's not going to work, we should inform the constituents and let them have a say, let them vote.
Thank you. Next up, Sandra Fitzgerald.
Consolidation and amalgamation. Listening to some of the people in District 7, they are not for this. They're like everybody else. They don't want their taxes going up. But people have to keep an open mind. It has to be brought to the table and see what amalgamation will entail. Then it has to be brought back to the districts, each district, and brought the information to the people. Because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be at that table. They're the ones who have put you there to make their decisions, so they should be involved in this. All I can say is that I'm not for or against it because I don't have enough information. So I think it just we all have to sit down at the table, whoever is elected, and see what it will entail. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Trevor Cunningham.
Right. Amalgamation, consolidation, fascinating topic. I'm well versed in the area, and certainly Windsor West Hants provides some instruction around process, and so everybody is kind of right. There are pros and cons, but what you need to do is really through that process that Windsor West Hants, and they were successful in their consolidation efforts. What you really need to do is answer some of those questions. What about taxes? What about representation? So we've got 3 units. We have about 10,000 people. The town has about 6,500, and I think Argyle has about 7,500. We're over-governed conceptually. Certainly, it would be representation by population, and taxes would be, there'd be area rates and that type of thing, and maybe a phase-in of taxes. But our biggest problem is everybody talks about collaboration among the units. Every councillor I've worked with has been, by and large, wonderful. They're great people, committed, all of us. But the system we're currently working in is not conducive to collaboration. Our CAOs and our units are always arguing about who pays what. It's a cost accounting problem. It can really only be solved through consolidation. So Whether or not I'm for consolidation conceptually, yes, but we have to get those details ironed out around representation, taxation, and those, the approach that Windsor West Hants took, and it's really quite brilliant, is that they had guiding principles. And all of those items were addressed in those guiding principles, and those guiding principles were arrived at through consultation with all the communities. So at the end of the day, they were successful, and I think they're better for it. Tough to work with the province and FIDS when you have 3 units squabbling all the time, all good folks, including myself. You know, just we're in an environment and a governance model that is antiquated and doesn't work moving forward. So to get all those big mutual projects built and done, infrastructure, probably going to have to move that way, and I think we can, because we can certainly solve those issues of taxation and representation. So again, I'll be in favor of moving forward with the work we need to do. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Joan Brewer.
Before I say anything about my opinion about consolidation or amalgamation, I think it's really important that we need to be better informed about the what-ifs about consolidation and or amalgamation. I'm not going to say if I'm for or against it, because I don't feel I have enough information at this point in the game. From what I understand with consolidation, we could set our own parameters around taxation and representation, and we would have control over what it would look like. Amalgamation, on the other hand, would be an act imposed on us by the municipal affairs, and we would have no say in its implementation, so I'm very concerned about that. We share a lot of services now with our sister municipal units. It's important to focus on a shared vision that we have. We need to work collaboratively with these units. I'm very interested in finding out the facts, getting all the details around consolidation, then bringing it back to the people, hearing what they have for concerns, and deciding from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Lauren Cushing.
Thank you. Consolidation, amalgamation. Consolidation is a topic we should discuss with all 3 municipal partners in great depth. It's not a rush decision. It's got to be done in great depth. We presently have numerous collaborative agreements with the other 2 units in Yarmouth County. As with any agreements, there are always debates and discussions, but overall, we've been fairly successful with them. As a grassroots councillor, I feel it's imperative that the people of District 6 have a strong voice in any and all decisions on consolidation. Very important. That's why I feel I'm the person to represent District 6 in their view and in the residents' views on such a major decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Patty Durkee.
Should we consolidate? We share many services and assets with the town in Argyll. Some agreements work well, others do not. All take significant effort to maintain. It's no longer possible for a single municipal unit to financially support many of these services. We have incrementally moved responsibility for service delivery to a growing number of intermunicipal boards and agencies. Let me be clear. I am presently neither for nor against consolidation. I do think we have reached the point where it is important to meet and discuss what it might look like. Our residents are concerned that taxes will rise. Using the Windsor West Hants model, when consolidated, taxes are based on services that are received. Another concern is that the town will control the municipality. In actual fact, looking at that model as well, the number of councillors for the municipality would actually be greater than in the town. First, we need to come up with a model to present to the public. We can't make a decision until we see what it looks like. What would the benefits be for the people of our region? We don't know, and we will never know if we don't summon the courage to investigate. Strong leadership, collaboration, and positive attitudes will bring the region forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Bruce Roberts.
Amalgamation. I got a nice flowery speech here all written up. I might deviate from it here some. Some of the benefits of amalgamation are less financial and procedural problems, better working relationships, easier to reach an agreement to move projects forward. I think as councillors we should be mature enough to make sure we're working in the best interest of the public, and if we're not, we should probably be dealt with on election day. Having said that, anyway, it removes a lot of miscommunication in the community, and sort of lets people know where we stand, I guess, if an amalgamation works properly, but that's not always the case. Amalgamation in some cases has been pushed through with very little or no consultation and no vote. If you want to talk to some unhappy people, you could maybe check with Windsor, Nova Scotia, and some of the towns that are amalgamated with Toronto, Ontario, basically by Bill 103 with no consultation. I fear that the amalgamation could have a strong negative impact on some of our villages. Some people that are worried about our taxes going up are basically just saying we don't want to inherit somebody else's bad choices. If they've got themselves in a lot of debt, we don't want to have to pay for it now. Nova Scotia is built from hard-working, multicultural, community-minded people. The majority of the people I have spoken to in District 3 are strongly opposed to such a move. And I guess I would have to stand with the voters in District 3 since I'm a prospective councillor. Thank you.
Thank you. Gerard Leblanc.
I hope I have time to say what I want here. I will be listening to all sides and be prepared to make the best decisions on behalf of our municipality. HRM amalgamation. Several problems with the amalgamation were noted, with the most obvious being that many of the predicted cost savings did not materialize. Some savings to be achieved by eliminating duplicate jobs were offset by the fact that staff from rural area now demanded pay at the same rate as their urban counterparts, facing a cost for amalgamation to double from initial estimates. Amalgamation of BC municipal government. As elsewhere in Canada and around the world, much of the justification for amalgamation proposal is cost savings. However, the results have routinely fallen short of the theatrical expectation. The research is clear. Municipal amalgamation are not a reliable way to achieve more efficient government. Government should not assume consolidation will solve problems because benefits and costs are specific to each situation. Consolidation may, but do not inevitably save money.
Thank you. Walter Pannell.
Amalgamation is an interesting topic, and like many of us have already said, it's something that we need to take time to sit down. Each municipality has their own issues that they have to deal with. Not every one of them is the same. In one aspect, it's like almost like a marriage. In one aspect, you marry somebody and you marry their whole family. It's not just that one person. In amalgamation, you also inherit their good and the bad points on both sides. And it is something that just takes time to sit down and work things all out. And on both sides, when they have the time to do it, it's time to sit down and just discuss every aspect of it, the pros and cons. So for me, I'd have to sit down and just listen to both sides to see where we stand and the advantages of it before I make my decision.
Thank you. Corrine Killum.
Amalgamation. I personally am against amalgamation, and listening to the voice of the people in the district, they are against amalgamation. But I think the biggest reason is that they don't understand and don't have the details. They don't have the facts to go by. So I think that maybe the education of the people about amalgamation, people need to know what's going to happen. And I think they're afraid of having their taxes being raised. I think they're looking at the big kerfuffle with the fire department in town and the dispatchers. The dispatching now coming from Digby, it's causing problems. People need to be educated on what would be involved in amalgamation. So I do believe, though, that the three municipalities and the town need to work together for the benefit of the people. Whether that's amalgamation or not, I guess time will tell, but I think people need to be educated about it first. Thank you.
Thank you. Dolores Atwood.
Yes, I agree that people need to be educated on amalgamation. However, when I campaign, I know I met some reasonable people, and I know myself, I have a common sense, and I know I know where all this is going from my past experience. I am running because I want the best for my community, and I will represent the best interests of those who have elected me and the community in general. For me, I will always be there for the people, represent their best interests. Amalgamation cannot happen at the expense of the ratepayers of the municipality of Yarmouth, period.
Thank you. Daniel Muse.
Amalgamation. Amalgamation 16 years ago was a bad word. I think it's still a bad word these days, people think. Presently, just recently, our current council left money on the table, I feel, to further study this, to educate our people. So I'm not for amalgamation or against it. I think we have to be more educated and get all the facts and see what's going on, then we present that to our people.
Thank you. And last on the topic will be Jim Baxter.
So far in my campaign, I've visited well over half the houses in District 4. Many of them wanted to discuss amalgamation and consolidation. All of those who wanted to discuss it were against it. The positives, those who are pushing for amalgamation consolidation, are saying that the positives of it will be procedural inefficiencies, that poor working relationships, it will fix the poor working relationships between the communities, and it will fix the inability to reach consensus and move issues forward. I personally don't necessarily believe that consolidation or amalgamation will fix these, but that does not matter. If I'm elected, I'm being elected to represent everyone in District 4. As I mentioned in my introduction, the people of the community in District 4 knows what's best for District 4.
Thank you. So that wraps up the question period for this evening. You'll each have 1 minute to wrap up.
And we'll begin with...
We're going to go in reverse order.
Oh, we're going in reverse order. My apologies.
Yep. So Patty, you're up first.
Patty, you're up
and then
first.
We'll just go down the room and around.
Absolutely, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the Yarmouth Chamber of Commerce and its sponsors for hosting this event tonight. It's just been an absolutely fantastic opportunity to meet all of you candidates and to hear what you're passionate about, and I'm certainly energized by your energy and passion for your communities. In closing, COVID has definitely brought a new world order for us. It requires a different way of thinking, a different way of being, and in order to move forward, we need to have the courage to have the conversations at the table of where we can take our strengths, move them forward. In reflection, our communities are stronger when they are together. A stronger family is a consolidated family is a strong family, and a consolidated municipality will be a consolidated one. Thank you for the opportunity tonight to share my thoughts with you, and I look forward to being your voice at the table. come October 17th. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce again. In closing, I would like to say that we're going through some tough times right now, dealing with COVID and possibly a pending recession. We need to keep the faith and keep moving forward. There are many issues to deal with. Municipal elections give us the opportunity to choose a strong voice to represent our communities. We need to choose wisely. If elected, I'm ready to take on the challenge and fight for these important issues that arise. It is time for a change. I'm ready to serve the people of District 3 and the municipalities. It's up to you and me in District 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I just want to, I guess, parrot Patty and Bruce and say thank you to the Chamber and to all the folks that are in here. As far as all the issues that are brought up, thank you very much for everybody else's input into this, and it has helped open my eyes a little bit on a few things. In listening to different opinions, I haven't been to a council meeting, and none of us have, and especially since COVID's been around. My personal thing here is I just would like to be a representative of the community that I live in the district, and I feel that I would be able to bring forth a positive approach to what is going on. I definitely want to listen, and I really want to learn. With all that being said, I wish everybody in all our communities, please take the time to vote. It doesn't matter who you vote for, vote. With all that being said, thank you, and everybody have a good evening and a safe evening.
Just like everybody, I want to thank for the opportunity to be here tonight and to share opinions on different things. I mean, as a candidate for District 3, it's a nice opportunity to be able to sit here. There's a lot of topics that I know that I may not totally know or understand yet, but I'm willing to learn and to get out there and put my voice out there. And this time of year for my business, it's incredibly busy, so I haven't been able to get it around as much as I'd like to, but I would very appreciate your vote on the election day. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce too, and all the candidates. It's been a pleasure being out here. I've really enjoyed so far, especially knocking on doors and meeting people. And I enjoy sitting in here and listening to everybody's ideas. And I just want to say that for me, that I'm a very approachable person, and I respect the opinions of others. And I just want to make sure that everybody does get out and vote, regardless who you vote for. Everybody get out and vote.
I also like to thank the chamber and the sponsors. If elected, I'm your voice. I'm here to make the tough decisions, answer the questions, not sit on the fence. I'll be there for you, passionate and out every day. You can see me wherever I'm all over the place, so you can come contact me. Vote Daniel Muse.
I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce, and there's also Ocean Blues here, and CJLS, and Eastlink. And I thank all the candidates for being here. In closing, I would like to thank the constituents of District 3 for putting their trust and confidence in me, for having allowed me to represent them for the past 8 years. I am now asking for your confidence and support in allowing me to be your municipal councillor for the next 4 years as well. We have great challenges and great opportunities ahead, and with your continued support, we can meet them, and we can make the next 4 years successful and prosperous for our municipality. The best leaders have a high consideration factor. They really care about their people. Quote, integrity is the most valuable and respected quality of leadership. Always keep your word. Brian Tracy, end quote.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I want to wish everyone the best. In closing, I am very community-minded and helping through volunteer. When I set my mind to do something, I am determined, and I'm a go-getter, a team player, and very passionate at what I do. Being self-employed for the last 40 years, I have a good work ethic. I'm a hard worker, self-disciplined, and honest. I will listen to the voice of the people, and I will take that back to council for better decision-making for all the communities. I have a genuine passion for a positive change and look forward to working as a team player on council to better serve our community. Thank you.
Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce and the sponsors for this evening. My community, District 3, matters to me. Long before I started this venture and long after the election is over, this will be my home. It's where I work most days of the week, and it's where I play. It is why I have a vested interest in the future of the residents of District 3. It is why I'm representing District 3 means so much to me. It's not a place I drive through, it's who I am. I believe I can be the voice to affect change that District 3 needs. I want to connect the community and the members to decisions and activities that directly affect them. I believe every person deserves to have a strong leader who will voice their concerns, a leader who will work on their behalf and be diligent in serving them long after the polls close on Election Day. I am that leader for District 3. Thank you.
As I campaign, I am constantly reminded of the great history in our community and the values that it's built on. Tonight, we have addressed only a few issues affecting our community. I realize the limited funding for the municipality, but we need to invest now so that when COVID ends, we are ready to return to whatever the new normal may be. The Mariner Center expansion with a pool, rural internet, active transportation, investing in affordable housing to decrease the high child poverty rates in our own community, available water in times of drought are all issues that need to be addressed. We can't wait another 10 years for facilities that should have already been built. I will work with an open mind and fresh energy to bring new ideas to life to benefit all the municipalities. I will provide transparency, and I am always prepared to listen and advocate whenever possible. My goal is to provide the community with the details needed so that we can make an informed decision together. I thank District 7 for their support, and I look forward to Election Day. Thank you.
In closing, I'd like to thank Chambers of Commerce and everyone else that is here taking part tonight. But most of all, I want to thank District 7 for allowing me, for opening their doors for me and accepting my pamphlets and allowing me to put signs on their lawn. But most of all, for giving me the chance to listen to them about their concerns down there. They need a change. I'm willing, and hopefully, if they will allow me to be their voice, I'm a team player, I'm a strong person, and I would like to have the opportunity to help them. So whatever you do, whoever you vote for, please just make sure that you get out and vote. Thank you very much.
First of all, thank you to everyone for putting their names forward, and good luck to all of you in the upcoming election. Also, thanks to the Chamber and sponsors for organizing. We really appreciate it, and I know that it's really helpful to our residents. We need strong leadership in Yarmouth County. We continue to be in a pandemic, experience water shortages, have environmental and housing issues, and need to provide new and better services to our residents. Please feel free to contact me if you have any concerns in your community or ideas for improving our area. I always respond to phone calls or emails. I'm an elected member of the board of the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities. I have participated in decisions which affect all Nova Scotians. If re-elected to council, I'll be able to finish my 2-year term and continue to function as a liaison. I'm always prepared for meetings of council and my 14 boards and committees. I do my homework and research, and when required, so that I can make informed decisions. We have projects in the district, the municipality, and the region that I would like to continue working on and to finish. I am very proud to have worked with the community, and all levels of government to obtain funding for repairs to the Sanford Drawbridge, the Port Maitland Wharf, and very excited that our beach will be accessible next summer. Building relationships is the key to making improvements in the municipality. I truly believe that by working together, we are better. Let's not miss out on any opportunities. We have wonderful people in our communities, and they deserve the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
As councillor for District 6, I was always available to the concerns and needs with the residents of our district, often guiding them in the right direction to address their concerns, and will continue to do so. When residents could not get a satisfactory answer, I would assist in having their concerns addressed. I will continue to listen to the needs and concerns of the residents of District 6. Over the past 4 years, I have worked with volunteer groups, individuals, and several government departments to complete several projects within District 6. Therefore, I ask the residents of District 6 to allow me to continue working for them by voting for me during the upcoming municipal election. Thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for allowing all candidates to have a voice tonight. Thank you.
I'd like to start off by thanking the Chamber of Commerce for putting on a wonderful event with great questions, and everybody's obviously thought through things pretty well. I'd like to also thank the residents of District 5 for meeting me at their doorstep, and I've been to every house in the district so far, and I'm going back to some houses that I haven't had an opportunity to actually speak with a person at the house, so I'm redoubling my efforts. And all kinds of ideas, good conversation, and that's what I do. I listen to people, and that's I think one of my big strengths, and I'm passionate about politics and passionate about moving the municipality forward. What I will say is, I've been supporting a positive force on council for many, many projects, including the Splash Park. But what's most important is, being able to say no to. And I said no to the municipal public works building, the one that was going to cost $1.5 million. And I said no many times. Wasn't always a popular stance with other councillors and staff. But at the end of the day, we built a project in the Hebron Park, expand an existing building, about half the money. So it probably we spent $600,000, but we probably saved $600,000 at the same time. And I voted against budgets. I was the only naysayer at times. So why vote for Trevor Cunningham in the upcoming election? Because I will make the tough decisions, and I'm dogged about it, and I'm positive. I'll vote for things that taxpayers want, things that they don't, or where there's a better way forward. I'll resist until we get the best solution available. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm in sort of a unique situation where I'm technically not campaigning, but however, as I learned back in 2008 when I was first elected, you never stop campaigning. And I'd like to thank everybody for putting your name forward on a ballot. It's something that our parents and grandparents fought for, and I'm glad that you're each and everyone are out there expressing the issues. Now, this COVID-19 thing is a little bit different than a regular campaign. If I had someone running in my district, unfortunately, my health issues, I've been told that I cannot door knock. So there's people out there using different avenues of campaigning, whether it be door knockers or public events with social distancing and the internet, which we don't have in District 1. So the reason why I said unfinished business. But I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce and the sponsors for holding an event like this. It's very important that if you have internet service or have a way to record it and see who's out there running, I certainly would love to sit at the table with each and every one of you. You've opened my eyes tonight, and I've always said that politicians are like diapers. They need to be changed often for the same reasons. I'm a big believer in that, and my time is coming to an end. And I certainly would love to see whether it be older faces or new faces sitting at the table. But what I've heard tonight is we have a terrific bunch running for council, and the municipality should be proud to have each and every one of you there.
Thank you.
We'll start off by saying thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting the event tonight, and thank you to all the candidates for coming out. It's definitely been lots of good topic around the table. To my voters, I hope you get out in our district and vote. That's the number one thing. I'd like to see a higher than a 35% turnout voting. It would mean a lot to everybody because we need the voice out there. I have a great amount of interest in our community. I feel that I will bring lots of new ideas to the table and will represent my community very well. Being a small business owner in our community, I feel I'm accessible. You can come stop into my business. I have many customers that vote in our community that stop in and talk all the time. I'm very open to listening and representing you for District 6 Councillor. Thanks.
Thank you.
I just want to say thanks again to the Chamber and to its partners for the opportunity to come tonight. Thanks to the candidates. It's been really exciting hearing all the dialogue and discussion, very thought-provoking. I think that we live in the most amazing area in the world, here in Yarmouth Municipality, and I think that our residents are very passionate about where we live. We have got our lighthouse, we've got our beaches, we've got rivers and lakes, we have farmland, we have everything that we could possibly need. We do need a little bit more. We need to look at what our community needs, and what they want and what we can afford. With COVID-19, we've had some interesting challenges, but we might also have some opportunities. When I was at our high school reunions a few times, it's amazing how many of my classmates said, "You're so lucky to live in Yarmouth." I can't because I can't find work here. With people moving to home-based businesses and doing their work from home, we've got a huge opportunity. People want to be here. We need to serve them. I'd encourage you to make sure you get out and vote and do what you can to help our community get better. Thank you.
Thank you.
In closing, I also want to thank the Yarmouth Chamber of Commerce for this opportunity. If elected to represent District 2, I will serve my community to the best of my abilities. I will listen to the concerns brought forward and make decisions based on the information provided. Speaking with the people of my district, I have listened to your concerns, and I hope I will be able to work in addressing these concerns for you. One thing I have noticed going through this process is the amount of people who don't go out and vote. I hope with the new ways of voting, it will encourage people to exercise their right to vote. I ask for your support next month on October 17th, and I hope to be able to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, thank you for hosting this event. I'd also like to thank the residents of District 4, my family, my friends, my neighbors, but especially my wonderful and patient wife, Patricia. If elected, I will be the bridge and communication between the council and District 4, and I will make sure that you are aware of the council decisions that impact District 4 and that you know what programs you may benefit from. This communication needs to go full circle, so I will have an open door. I'll follow up with any individual that brings a problem to me, and I'll ask for feedback to make sure that the job that I am doing is the job that you need. Community is important. We're all in this together. It takes more than one person to make a community, but it will only take one vote to make a difference, so vote.
Thank you.
Our community need to move forward. Support for critical community infrastructure, good roads, high-speed internet, and an expansion at the Marina Center are critical pieces of infrastructure that are need to attract and keep people living in Yarmouth. If we want young people to come back and businesses to stay and invest, we need to work with all levels of government to ensure that we invest, preserve, and improve these vital services. I am a community-minded person, a people's person that loves people. I know this is a beautiful community. I see this community because I am far from the elephant. It is a beautiful place. A beautiful place that we are now at a standpoint in this community. I know that because of my economic development and experience. I know that because I've worked in different cultures. I know that because I have this sense to predict things and always right. And I would tell you, we are at a standpoint. Either we go up or we go down. And that will determine, I repeat, that will determine on the voters. We have good slate of people running, and we need to pick the best of the best. There's no complaint, because I know there are good people running, but we have the best of the best. And I pray and I hope the voters will vote and get the right people, because this community is a beautiful community with good people. It will really break my heart to see this community go backward. I'm telling you, it means so much to me, because my kids were born here. This is a beautiful community. With this, I say thank you to the Chambers of Commerce and every one of you that are running. You've not wasted your time. You've sent a message, and people have heard. And I know that on the 7th, people will make their choice. And that will determine whether we are going forward or we are going backward. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for running. It's not easy, I understand all you are going through. And thank you guys for all that you do. It's a beautiful time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well done, candidates. If I may wax philosophical for a second, the retired broadcast guys get the microphones to look out. It's easy to sit back and criticize our elected officials, but it takes a lot of guts and determination and courage to run for municipal office, no matter where you live. So I commend all of the candidates. And please, as many of the candidates mentioned, get out and exercise your right to vote. It's so important. Of course, Election Day, October 17th, but the voting starts on the 8th of October. And of course, very easy to do. You've got phone voting, e-voting, as they call it, and within the municipality of the District of Yarmouth, at least, there will be kiosks set up. Just go to your municipal Facebook page or website. All the information will be there. Again, thank you to all the candidates. So this was the first of 3 forums for our municipal elections. And tomorrow night, we have candidates for the municipality of the District of Argyll. And then the following evening, which will be Thursday evening, we have candidates, the mayoralty candidates, and the candidates for Yarmouth Town Council. Excuse me a moment. No cough button on this microphone. So finally, again, thank you to the candidates. Quinn, thank you very much for all the work you did. Appreciate it. And of course, to the presenters, the Yarmouth and Area Chamber of Commerce, and to the sponsors, the Rotary Club of Yarmouth, and also to the
Nova Scotia Realtors Association.
Nova Scotia Realtors Association. Thank you, Quinn. Thank you all very much. Well done.
Thanks, everybody, for coming.